Hi, I'm Rachel, and in this video I'm just going to have a little talk about myself, introduce myself. I've started this YouTube channel just as like a vlog of the trip that me and my partner are on at the moment. We've moved to the other side of the world, as if you can't already tell. I'm from the UK and we have moved to New Zealand, and we've been here for 3 months now. We bought a camper van and are living in it full time, which has brought many new experiences. We've driven all around the North Island, and we're now in the South Island just doing an apple thinning job. So last year I was working as a teacher in a secondary school and George was a vet nurse. We were both living at home with our parents and trying to save money to buy a house. And then we both turned 30. George's birthday is a day after mine, and just started to feel like it wasn't going to be the right decision for us to buy a house yet. So I'd been travelling in the past before. I'd gone to live in China as a teacher and an English teacher, and I'd also been an au pair in Spain, and I just loved those experiences. And I think because my time in China was cut short, I was actually out there when COVID started. I think I hadn't really fully had that experience that I wanted of living abroad for a whole year. So I tried to like persuade George that we should come and travel and live abroad somewhere. And he had always thought about New Zealand. I was thinking Australia. So we both love nature, and we're looking into New Zealand, and it just seemed like the perfect place for us to come and live. So we had a look at our options, and then I think somebody at one of my dad's friends at a yoga class actually just mentioned to me that people go to New Zealand and it's quite common for people to buy a camper van, use it to travel all around, and then just sell it at the end. So that idea like stuck with me, and I just thought that sounds perfect for us because it means that we can sell it at the end and have a bit of money to come back with. So we looked into that, and then we looked on the website for New Zealand and signed up for a working holiday visa, which will give us a year in the country. It was a few £100s to sign up for it. And then I actually had to go for a chest x-ray to get the visa, because because I'd been living in China within 5 years, I think it was, which I thought was a bit crazy because they're looking for some kind of disease. But yeah, I had to go to London to have that, and I think that did cost over £100 to go to London to have this chest x-ray, and then I was fine. I got the visa within a month, I think. But the problem we had at the time was that George had heart surgery a few years ago, 2 years ago. So we kind of thought that it might be a little bit more difficult for him to get the visa, and there was a bit of trouble with him trying to get it at the time, because if you know what the NHS is like at the moment, it was really difficult for him to get the paperwork to prove that he would be fine to come to the country, because you had to prove that he wouldn't be a burden on the healthcare system out here. He'd had his surgery, he was fine, fit and healthy, but he couldn't prove it because the doctor was so busy. He wasn't replying to the emails, he wasn't sending the information that he needed, and it was getting really stressful for us. We were thinking, what are we going to do? Because I've got my visa, he hasn't got his. We were just thought that the trip wasn't going to happen. And I think like within the last day, he kept getting his deadline moved back and back. I think within the last day, they did give him it, because he kind of like tried to tug on their heartstrings and message them and say, like, I have my heart set on this, like we won't be able to go if I don't get this information. And then within like a day before the last deadline that he was given, he luckily was given the visa, and we were so excited. And then we were able to book everything, book our flights. So we came over here 3 months ago, and that was in October, and that was the end of the springtime, like coming towards the end of the springtime, and we arrived in Auckland because the flights were cheaper to there, and also we knew that you could get camper vans from there. You could buy a camper van, or lots of backpackers sell them in Auckland and then move on from there. So we thought that would be the best place to go. We were looking, when we arrived, we booked just a place like a homestay with a kitchen, because we were really trying to like keep as much money as we could for the camper van. And I remember we stayed there for a week, and we just spent like a lot of our time looking for a camper van, desperately trying to find one. We did go to view a couple. It got quite stressful. Went to view a couple. We were on the bus on the way to get there. I think we were on the bus for about an hour for one of them, and then we got a message saying, "Oh, sorry, it's sold now." So we were like in the middle of the suburbs of Auckland, just being like quite like disheartened because we couldn't get that van. And I think that happened a few times, and because it was so busy at that time, at the end of the spring, all the backpackers start to arrive and they're all looking for a camper van, so it can be difficult. And I think in the end, maybe we rushed into it a little bit too much with getting the van. I think we could have waited and got maybe a bigger one for the money that we paid, because we don't have that much space in the van. So if you're thinking of doing the same, then I would suggest that you just bide your time, make sure you get the right one. Also, I think we wished that we had come to buy a camper van in the South Island, because the prices seem to be cheaper here, or come earlier in the year so that you could get a cheaper price. It's not like peak season to get your camper van. But we've travelled all around on it. We found a camper van eventually, and then from a Czech guy who was really nice, and we didn't get a pre-purchase inspection because we trusted the guy, and it seemed to be running pretty well, and we liked the layout of it. So once we had our camper van, we were able to travel all around the North Island. I won't go into it too much in this video, that'll be for another video. But just to sort of fast track to where we are now, we got the ferry from the North Island about couple of weeks ago, and we're now in the south. And we have been working along the way to kind of keep the funding up, because we did spend a lot of our money on the van, obviously. So we had to earn a little bit more extra money doing fruit picking kind of jobs that a lot of the backpackers do. And we're now in a place called Motueka in Motueka, and we are apple thinning, and we have like a kitchen shower unit in the area, and the van is parked up by there, and we're kind of just trying to save up some money for the month. We're working here a month, and we're kind of like living very slow paced life at the moment, which is nice. It is quite nice. I'm like picking up different hobbies, doing knitting, crochet, doing a bit of painting, and yeah, it's just quite calm and nice. And you probably hear the birds in the background. It's very like natural area, like farmland, and yeah, it's nice. But if you want to hear more about our travels, I'm going to be updating my page with different things. Like I'm thinking of doing one talking about the house sitting that we've done, our experiences with that, woofing. If you haven't heard about that. That is something that people do out here in New Zealand. I want to do a video about that. So if you subscribe to my channel, then that would really help me out, and I can make more videos. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.